Hello, should I set aside money for taxes after every trade? Not necessarily. By trade, I mean when you sell a stocks that you purchase. You don't have to set aside money after you sell a stock, but you want to make sure you have some money in the account that you can use to pay your taxes when the times come. So when you are getting close to the month you are going to make your estimated tax deposit, it might be a good idea to start thinking about when you have money in the account, you do not use it all to purchase stocks, but you leave some there based on how much profit you are making during that quarter. You can have an idea how much you want to leave in the account, now using it all to buy stocks, so that when it's time for you to make your tax deposits, you don't have to sell stocks too early to cash in the small profit you have in it, but you can let it ride the way you want it before you sell it, because you have some deposit in the account to work with. That's one. Another way you can do that is like if every month you try to save some money from your paycheck to put in your investment account for the month preceding the month you are going to make your tax deposit. When you are at the end of that month, before the month you are going to make your tax deposit, you can, when you save money to put in the account, you can decide not to swing trade with that money. In fact, if you pay your estimated tax deposit, your estimated tax through your personal checking account, instead of moving that paycheck saving to your swing trade investment account, you can just keep it in your checking, knowing that you are going to pay your estimated tax with it. That's one way to do it, but you just have to see which one works for you. Another things that you can do is estimate in average for the year how much profit you think you are going to have, and estimate how much estimated tax you are going to make, divided by 12, and include that in your irregular expenses that you save for. That's if you do budget and you have fixed income, variable income. Not really, I don't call it variable income, but I call it irregular expenses. Those expenses that you pay few times during the year, but now every month those are expenses good to save for every month by estimating how much they are for the year, including repair around your house, repair of the car, property tax, insurance, homeowner insurance, car insurance, those type of things, estimated for the year, divided by 12. And if you own a house, like 1% of the value of the house could be saved toward repair of things around the house. Total of those, including the doctor checkup, or if you wear contact or glasses, estimated those things for the year, divided by 12. Dental, gifts, celebration, travel, estimate those for the year, divided by 12. And for that estimate, you can include how much you think your estimated tax toward your trade will be as well. But you'll have to actually start trading to estimate that. Like for one quarter, you can use that to say, okay, it might be about the same for every quarter, which is not necessarily true. Or if you have 1 year that you did it already, you can see how much estimated tax you made throughout that year and use that. Otherwise, if you have 1 quarter in it already, use that quarter profits to estimate an estimated tax that corresponds to it. and do that for the year divided by 12, and say to yourself that that's what you need to be putting in your saving out of your paycheck every month or so. And when it comes to your estimated tax payment, you'll have money in the saving. Not necessarily the portion you save for that estimated tax, but you'll have enough saved there to pull from to make your estimated tax. That is another strategy, and I tend to use that strategy not necessarily to save for swing trading purposes, but for irregular expenses in general. And I like to include, our estimated tax among those as well, and just find the 1/12 of that to save for. That way, in the saving, we have money for it. But otherwise, at the end, when you get paid, you know that month coming, you are going to make estimated tax. You don't send your money to your investment account, but you just keep it in your saving account so that you can use that to pay your estimated tax. So how do you go about saving money to pay your estimated tax? So thank you so much for watching. Today we are going to analyze ELS as of August 20, 2026. Across it that I don't want to invest in it anymore or swing trade, but let's see if I will change my mind. So when we are looking at ELS, well, maybe we might change our mind, but anyway, it's around our buying zone here. We purchased it and we sold it for small profit and get out of it because, again, we decided that we do not want to trade those slow growth type of stocks. But now looking at it and having this clean support line, the second alternative will be, yes, is if it does not come down to this line, which even if it does, they both like have connection there, and this that does not have any other connection until now. I think that's one of the things as well, that it does not have any other connection until now. So we have the date on the x-axis from the past to the present, and the price on the y-axis from $0 up. So in 2020 it came close. We can just say it came to a, so pretty much it comes down during what, economical crisis, or it takes years for that to come down to this valley line, and it will be the place to buy. We bought it exactly around that place, but maybe last month or so I sold it and just locking a small profit, saying to myself that, you know what, I don't want to buy those slow growth type of stocks. But again, if I will, another alternative would be, you know what, to just say maybe $250 per share, $250. Buy at that, spend $250 or $200 to buy it, and just let it be in the portfolio, let it do its things, and just analyzing it through experience, to see how it's going to do. Who knows, I might do that because it's still around my buying zone, 59 and 65. So not even $10 difference there. I might purchase, even if that's just one share, and just let it be and observe it. That's one way. And from the last time we touched base with that 20 to 88, okay, it's more than double the price by the time it was done going up, and from there to here. So is really respecting this line. I will think about it to see if I want to buy a few shares and just let it be there, and and see. So instead of just taking them out of the portfolio, I might just keep them in that, just have a small list of those slow growth stocks and just buy a few share of them, not spending a lot of money on them, and just let them be in the portfolio and see what they do, and keep analyzing them to see, yeah, to learn more through experience. So what about you? How do you feel about this type of stocks? So thank you so much for watching. I'm Afiavi, and on our channel we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence. And swing trading could allow you to to create another stream of income. Just start small, and slowly but surely you'll get there. As a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional trader. I just swing trade in my husband and I joint account. And I like to share what is working for us, what is not working, what I'm learning with you, so that if you find some tips useful, you can improve them and implement them in your own financial success journey. Will you please proceed with caution? For more videos in this series, because you have more than 200 videos in this series, will you please check the playlist How to Start Swing Trading Step by Step Using Long Uptrend Lines in the description of this video. And this video is brought to you by our online store Liberman.com. If you are looking for tote bags or cloth napkins, will you please check our online store Liberman.com. Thank you so much for your time. Happy swing trading.